Hey everyone's happy Wednesday. Hope you are living, moving, and having your being in the one and only God of the universe that is in, around, as, and through you. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Welcome once again to Spirit and Truth Sanctuary. This is our Wednesday night study series. We are once again in Eckhart Tolle's A New Earth. Tonight is going to be an awesome both teaching and discussion. Looking forward to hearing from you guys. Hopefully you got the email today and were able to maybe browse through those questions. If not, you can check them out now and maybe give some thought to them. I think it's interesting to look at the questions first and then read the teaching afterwards. I think that might be an interesting dynamic for you to see where your immediate response might be to the questions and then how you feel Eckhart Tolle navigating that. Interesting. Anyway, all right. Well, so we're going to begin tonight with our Fully Awake 365 devotion. Today is July the 26th. It is the month of July, which is our focus is on the inner kingdom. And I had not read today's devotion until just a few moments ago, and I'd already put the teaching together tonight. And so you're going to see a lot of synchronicity with both the devotion for today and tonight's teaching. I mean, literally, we don't get what we want, we get who we are. That's what tonight's teaching is. It's today's devotion in Fully Awake 365. So, if you have your devotion, turn to July 26th, and we are going to grab our affirmation. Prayer of surrender, okay. All right, let's grab our prayer of surrender first, if you will. Spirit of truth, carry me where you will. Bring to me what you will. Take from me what you will. Awaken in me what you will. The Christ man is around me. The Christ mind is in me. The Christ power flows through me. And the Christ mystery exists as me. I believe it. I perceive it. And now I receive it. I am surrendered. Amen. And so it is. All right. We don't get what we want. We get who we are. We talked about that a couple of years ago at Spirit and Truth Sanctuary. And what does that really mean? Maybe good to have a little refresher of that. Let's grab our affirmation at the very top. It says, vibration is happening around and through me at all times. Whether I am aware of it or not, I know the truth that I'm a vibrational being in a vibrational universe. I am also awake to the universal law that I attract people, relationships, experiences, opportunities, and things to myself according to my level of vibration. And so, what is what's kind of the thesis of today's devotion? So, don't we all want happiness? We all want loving friends. We all want faithful, romantic and intimate relationships with people that we love and trust, that we can share life with. We want enough money. We want to be at peace. We want to enjoy our lives with some type of laughter and we all want those things. We want people to forgive us. We want people to give us the benefit of the doubt. We want all of those things. But sometimes we don't get those things, not because we don't deserve them, but because that's not how we are vibrating. We're not attracting those things to us. And so we don't just get things because we want it. We get it because we attract it, because we become, in essence, a vibrational match with those things. So, the difficult thing, this is the second line, it's the difficult truth is wanting something does not create it. We don't get what we want, we get who we are. This statement, second paragraph, can either arouse a great deal of optimism and hope or become a very heavy burden of guilt and despair. Why is that? If our lives are full of loneliness, lack, and disloyalty, we are only experiencing the level of vibration we exist in, or we are merely manifesting who we are in our daily lives. Ooh, that's difficult to hear, isn't it? I was talking to a New Thought teacher years ago, and I said, it's interesting when you lose kind of your concepts of innate sin and man's sinfulness that you don't, how do you guys deal with guilt? Do you even have any guilt? He said, oh, no. There is no guilt like New Thought guilt. There's no guilt like spiritual guilt. And I said, what do you mean? You don't believe in hell? You don't believe God is judging and all this kind of things? He said, no. When you realize that you're creating your own life, that you are the one creating your relationships, your finances, your joy, your happiness, your peace, and you don't have any of it, then all of that responsibility falls back on you. And so the guilt is even much more because there's no one to blame but you for the life that you're creating for yourself. Wow. I have really chewed on that for the last couple of years. All right, look down, if you will, at the last paragraph. It says, these are just some colloquial phrases all over the place that kind of say we get who we are. We attract who we are. Birds of a feather flock together. Whatever we sow, we reap. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. An object in motion stays in motion unless acted upon. Okay, listen to this. Like tend towards like. These colloquial, religious, philosophical, and even scientific sayings are all pointing us to the idea that we get who we are. Wow, this knowledge can cause a great deal of heaviness. However, instead of living in guilt and regret, which do not produce positive change, accept this truth, own what you are creating and who you are, and raise your level of vibration to shift who you are. Then, watch this. Then as you begin to learn how to like yourself or who you are, you will notice that you attract who you are to yourself. If your friends are selfish, if your friends are lying to you all the time, if they're backbiting, if they're not trustworthy, then that's a little indication of what you're attracting in your life. And everybody, of course, everybody's not your friend. We all have a lot of associates in our lives. We only get a few friends during that lifetime. But it's an interesting dynamic. If it's better to say it this way, we don't get who we are, we get what we vibrate. Because, we don't get what we want, we get what we vibrate. Because who we are is not our present consciousness, right? We are an eternal capacity. We are an unlimited potential. And so we can change our vibration and create and attract whatever we want. However, at the moment you're operating that consciousness, it becomes your reality. You do become that level of thought. And so the good news is, if you don't like your friends, if you don't like your money, if you don't like your happiness or your lack of peace or your job or your church or your children or your spouse, guess what? They are only a reflection of you. And anytime you choose to raise your vibration, you can connect with different things and attract different things to you. And so that's a lot to chew on. Okay, here is our closing prayer for our daily devotion. Ultimate reality. I will raise my vibration to righteousness, peace, and joy, and watch as all good things are attracted to me. Amen. We'll see you again for the devotion on Friday morning, and looking forward to connecting with you then. And of course, just a quick announcement, we are virtual this Sunday. 5th Sunday, we'll have also virtual communion as well. So looking forward to connecting with you guys on a little bit of a day off for those who serve so faithfully at Spirit and Truth Sanctuary. All right, welcome once again to Spirit and Truth Sanctuary, where the whole household of God is welcomed and wanted. We are an inclusive spiritual community that realizes God is bigger than labels, and we are as well. God is not religious, and that we are learning to love our neighbors as we love ourselves. That really is the true religion. It's just kindness, being kind, being open, being a giving soul. We are an LGBTQ plus affirming interfaith community. And so if any of that is resonating with you, you have stumbled onto the right place. All right, we're in Eckhart Tolle's A New Earth. Go ahead and grab the notes in your event description. We are glad that you are here. Come on, let's take a big deep breath. Sometimes when we take that breath, it's good to just kind of roll your neck around a little bit. This smacks in the face of all of the literal Buddhists and those who practice Zen meditation. You're not really supposed to roll your neck around. You're not supposed to stretch your body out, because you're not supposed to do anything but meditate on nothingness and your breath and all that. But guess what? We are not orthodox anything. There's no one way to practice spirituality. And so there's no correct sitting posture. There's no way to hold your hands. All of that is religion. It may sound spiritual, but it is religion. And so as we take a breath, we can open our eyes, we can close our eyes. We can sit, we can lie, we can stand, we can laugh. But we celebrate in this moment the beginner's mind. We know that faith comes by hearing and not by having heard. We walk into the kingdom of God curiously and inquisitively as little children, surrendering to the mystery and refusing mastery. We know that faith comes by hearing and not by having heard. We celebrate truth as a journey and not as a destination. We clear out space. We celebrate now the Zen Bardo space, the bara, the creation of God. We cut away anything that's getting in the way of the Holy Spirit having its way with us. Amen. And so it is. All right. We've talked about some themes that are ubiquitously recurring in our journey into a new earth. One is that our greatest achievement is recognizing our own insanity, which becomes the seed form of sanity, the groundwork of functionality. We've talked about how we identify ourselves. Are we this physical form? Are we even any specific thought form? Religion, philosophy, politic, culture, demographic, memories, pains, future aspirations. We are none of those things. We are not physical forms, and we are not thought forms. We are the present awareness. We are the divine observation of everything that's happening in, through, around, and as us, but we really aren't any of those things. All right. Lastly, we've talked about our present consciousness really not reflecting our eternal capacity. Wherever we are in thought right now is just that. It's just the level of thought that we're in. It's not who we are. We have unlimited potential. So if you look back at your life and realize how far you've come, think about how far you've come just being at Spirit and Truth Sanctuary. Yeah, we've come a long way together. And so guess what? We have not arrived. We are not the thoughts that we have right now. We are the spirits capable of having thoughts. Here's the other part of that. When you realize you're not your present consciousness, you're in eternal capacity, you're able to give that grace to others. When you meet people of a lower vibration, ignorance, misogyny, homophobia, religiophobia, xenophobia, all the phobias that keep people in ignorance, that is not who they are. It's what they're vibrating in, but their eternal capacity is much bigger than their present consciousness. All right, last week, real quick review from last week. We asked 5 questions. When we react without thinking, where does the reaction come from? That was an interesting one. Number 2, if we're upset by small things, are we tapping into our eternal, immortal selves? Small things upsetting us, does that mean that we're somehow putting our eternal awakening to the self and soul in some type of abeyance or on some type of layaway? Number 3, what is the difference between the small you and the eternal you? That was a great question. Number 4, when we only see ego in others, what does this do to our ego? Tolle reminds us that we only ever meet ourselves, and that what we respond to in another is just reflecting something that is resistance in ourselves. Number 5, why are beliefs obstacles to realizing our true selves? I was a little bit skeptical that question wouldn't get answered many times, but I was wrong. I need to have more faith. I apologize. You guys were so brave in answering question number 5, how beliefs get in the way of us really awakening to ourselves. I thought that was just an amazing discussion last week. All right, tonight's questions, and then we're going to jump in to week 52 in Eckhart Tolle's A New Earth. Tonight's questions. Number 1, who are you without constant connection to your needs? Think about for a moment what you perceive your needs to be. It could be financial, it could be housing, clothing, relationships, comfort, could be affirmation, it could be belonging. Wow, it could be many things. But without all of those needs, the things that you need in your life, who are you? You ever asked yourself that question? Who are you without your needs? Number 2, can we expect love, joy, and peace that we do not give? Can we expect love, joy, and peace? So we could add other ideas to that we are not giving out. Number 3, what does this mean to you? Here's the phrase: abundance comes to those who already have it. Abundance comes to those who already have it. This is going to be a very interesting, introspective teaching and discussion tonight. All right, this is week 52. We're going to talk tonight about abundance. Who you think you are is also intimately connected with how you see yourself treated by others. Who I think I am is intrinsically connected to how I see myself being treated by others. Many people complain that others do not treat them well enough. I don't get any respect, attention, recognition, acknowledgement, they say. I'm being taken for granted. When people are kind, they suspect them of having hidden motives. So if the majority of our experience is people who don't respect us, don't care for us, don't recognize us, don't affirm us, don't acknowledge us, then when somebody's kind to us, oh my God, what are they trying to get? They have some kind of hidden motive. All right. Others want to manipulate and take advantage of me. Nobody truly loves me. All right, that's a pretty interestingly low vibration that, if we're all honest, we all have been a part of that, and maybe currently we slip into that as well. Don't live in guilt that you find yourself there. Be the awareness. Recognize that you're slipping into that. Who they think they are is this. Listen to this. Interesting. This is my first highlighted phrase. I am a needy little me whose needs are not being met. Wow. I am a needy little me whose needs are not being met. I need someone else to meet those needs. I need someone else to give me something that I don't have. I need someone else to tell me who I am because I don't know who I am. I need someone else to open a door because I can't open it myself. I am a needy little me whose needs are not being met. This basic misperception of who they are, of who we think we are at times, creates dysfunction in all relationships. They believe they have nothing to give and that the world or other people are withholding from them what they need. Listen to that false sense of self. I have nothing to give to anyone. I have nothing that would benefit someone else. And yet other people are withholding the things that I need, that I desire, that I want in my life. Their entire reality is based on an illusory self of who they are. It sabotages situations and mars all their relationships. Now here's where I put in my notes today before I even read the devotion today. We don't get what we want, we get who we are. All right, so we don't get what we need, we get what we vibrate. That's kind of a little bit more accurate in context tonight. We don't get what we need, we get what we vibrate. And so let's keep going. That's starting to tiptoe into some of those questions tonight if you want a little hint. If the thought of lack, whether it be money, recognition, or love, has become a part of who you think you are, you will always experience lack. If that's become who you are, if that's your identity now, I don't have enough money, I'm not recognized, and I'm not being loved. If that becomes who you think you are, that's what you're always going to experience. You're always going to experience lack. Rather than acknowledge the good that is already in your life, all you see is lack. Wow. Acknowledging the good that is already in your life is the foundation for abundance. So when we talk many Sundays, usually Pastor Lonnie, I or someone else, myself or someone else will say, don't ask when you pray. Don't ask for things. What does that mean? Well, first of all, Jesus reminds us in Matthew 6, about verse 32 or so, your Father in heaven already knows what you need. He said, stop asking for things. But what? But do what? Raise your level of vibration. Seek first the kingdom, and the things will be added to you. Stop saying I don't have. Stop asking for something. Stop saying somebody owes me something. Somebody is not giving me the thing I need. Raise the level of vibration, become a vibrational match, and then those things will be added to you. Wow, you didn't know that Jesus was a New Thought teacher, did you? Acknowledge the good that's already in your life. I already have a mind to think. I'm being exposed to a very high level of teaching that's helping me wake up to my own sense of power and agency. What else do I really need? The fact is, whatever you think the world is withholding from you, you are withholding from the world. Wow. So how did the Beatles say that? They said, in the end, the love you get is the love you give. The love you get is the love that you give. The fact is, whatever you think the world is withholding from you, you are withholding from the world. You are withholding it because down deep you think you are small and that you have nothing to give. And so, Instead of asking the world to give you things, become a vibrational match with love, with joy, with peace, with happiness, with laughter. Don't look for it. Don't ask for it. Become it. Get happy, stay happy, and see what happens. There we go. Be happy. Try this for a couple of weeks and see how it changes your reality. Watch this. Whatever you think people are withholding from you, whether it's praise, appreciation, assistance, loving care, and so on, give it to them. Whatever you think someone is withholding from you, don't ask for it. Don't expect it. Don't feel some sense of entitlement. Just begin to give it. You don't have it? Just act as if you had it and it will come. Then, soon after you start giving, you will start receiving. Wow, becoming a vibrational match with the thing that we say we want. You cannot receive what you don't give. Aren't those laws of the universe? Exhale, inhale, give, receive, sow, reap, act, react. Wow, all of that is not even really religious. It's just the scientific truths of the world, that the universe that we inhabit. You cannot receive what you don't give. So what about this? Can we give God glory if we don't have glory? What is it that we're giving if we're not glorious or glorified, or if we don't have glory? Yeah, we are gloriously made in the image and likeness of God and good. And so when we give glory, we have to have it first to give it. Yeah, if I want joy, give joy. If I want love, Jesus said it this way: if you want friends, be friendly. Show yourself to be friendly. Outflow determines inflow. Whatever you think the world is withholding from you, you already have. But unless you allow it to flow out, you won't even know that you have it. This includes abundance. The law of outflow determines inflow, as is expressed by Jesus in this powerful image. Give and it will be given to you. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together, running over, will be put into your lap. King James says, men will give into your bosom. Get in that bosom and give me something. Yeah. Yeah, Jesus said it. If you give, you'll receive. Give and it will be given unto you. And that's really not just talking specifically about money. In context of that passage from Jesus, he's talking about giving grace to others. If you want grace, be graceful to others. So it can be applied to money, of course. It can be applied to anything. But in context, he's saying, if you want people to treat you graciously, be gracious to them. Yeah, and it will be given to you. The source of all abundance is not outside you. It's not the world. It's not a person. It is part of who you are. However, start by acknowledging and recognizing abundance without. So, if you don't feel abundance within, if you don't feel the joy, the peace, the laughter, the homeostasis of being at one with God, however you want to say that, Tolle gives us a suggestion. Start by acknowledging the abundance without. See the fullness of life all around you. As I was studying today, I was watching a hummingbird coming and eating out of our flowers. I took a moment of gratitude and just looked at this beautiful little creature. The warmth of the sun on your skin, the display of magnificent flowers outside of a florist shop, biting into a piece of fruit, or getting soaked in an abundance of rain falling from the sky. Wow. The fullness of life is there at every step. The acknowledgement of the abundance that is all around you awakens the dormant abundance within. Wow, take a walk outside tonight. Go smell some honeysuckles. Walk down by some water. Listen to the birds. Wake up early in the morning. There is abundance all around us, and if you pay attention to it, if you really are observant, it will start to wake up the abundance on the inside of you. Then let it flow out. While you smile at a stranger, there's already a minute outflow of energy. Or when you smile at a stranger. Listen to that. What's the old song? I forget what it's called. It's not Love Is All You Need. I'm trying to remember. Anyway, the passage in the song says, when you pass someone and smile, you're saying, I love you. You're worthy of love. You're worthy of attention. You're worthy of care. Because I am. I'm giving to you out of what I have. I am worthy of love. I am worthy of care. Okay. You have become a giver. Woo! Ask yourself often, what can I give here? How can I be of service to this person or in this situation? You don't need to own anything to feel abundant. Although if you feel abundant consistently, things will almost certainly come to you. Wow. And so abundance is not an asking. It's not an entitlement. We don't get the things we want. We get what we become. As we give, it comes back to us. Abundance comes only to those who already have it. Woo! Totally about to quote Jesus and the parable of the talents right here. Wow, we've been in that recently. Abundance comes only to those who already have it. It almost sounds unfair, but of course it isn't. It's a universal law. Both abundance and scarcity are inner states that manifest as your reality. Jesus puts it like this: for to the one who has, more will be given. And from the one who has not, even what he has will be taken away. Whew. Wow, that sounds harsh, doesn't it? But it's not about favorites. It's not about, are you a Christian, are you not? This law of the universe is neutral. It works if you work it. And so as you give out from love, you get love. As you give out of grace, you receive grace. As you give even money comes back into your life. As you give a smile to someone, a smile comes back your way. Yeah, these things do not happen by accident. We don't want and pray and ask and then someday they just show up in our lives. No, we become the thing that we are looking for. All right, we're going to open up for discussion. Before we do that, let me read the 3 questions one more time just to kind of refresh our memories. Okay, so in the context of abundance, number 1, who are we without our constant connection to our needs? If we were not constantly focused on the things we need, who are we? How do we answer that question without me needing, just the simple things: food, water, shelter, warmth, protection, safety. Okay, let's go further. Without needing affirmation, affection, love, respect. Who are you without that? Without that constant connection to the things that you need, who are you? Number 2, can we expect love, peace, and joy that we do not give? Can we expect, and we could put anything there, friendship, loyalty, trust, time, respect. We could put anything right there. Can we really expect the things that we do not give? Number 3, what does this statement mean to you? Listen to this. Abundance comes to those who already have it. Abundance comes to those who already have it. All right, my peoples, let's talk tonight.
All right, well, so far, folks are answering number 2 here so far. So that is, can we expect love, joy, peace that we do not give? Jason responded, we will get back whatever we put out into the universe. When we give out love, joy, and peace, the universe will give these back to us.
There you go. That's couldn't be more plain, could it, Jason? I love that. Yeah, when we give it out, it comes back. And so, yeah, isn't it interesting how many people are always looking for that one person to fulfill their lives, or that one friend that be like no other friend? Or have you been that one person for someone else? Have you been that friend who sticks closer than a brother? Have you been a companion to someone and been as concerned with their happiness as your own? Yeah, we don't get what we want, Jason. We give what we give out. That's great. Thanks, Jason.
Miss Bobby also answered number 2. It is impossible to expect love, joy, and peace if we do not walk in love and having joy in our hearts, simply allowing peace to be our essence, showing compassion towards others.
Yep. Thank you, Miss Bobby. Vibrational beings in a vibrational universe, attracting things that are like us. Birds of a feather flock together. How can 2 walk together lest they be agreed? They're just different ways of saying, when we look around, this is the things that we've created with our own inner state. Our own inner state of being is what we see all around us. And sometimes that can be difficult to see. Other times it can help us. We can see it, survey it, and then shift it if we need to. Thanks, Miss Bobby.
All right, from Richard, answered all three. So for number 1, who are you without constant connection to your needs? He said, that depends on how attached I am to my needs.
Exactly.
My needs often vary from time to time.
That depends on how much I need it. Yeah, I like that, Richard. Yeah, that's very honest. Yeah, that depends. Who am I without it? Yeah, needs vary, but let's say that there is no such thing as a need. Let's say hypothetically, Richard, that you needed nothing. Who are we then? Think about if we didn't need sleep. Isn't that interesting? Think about if you didn't need to feel the presence of God, you were just always aware of it. Think about in our spiritual form, we won't need to eat food. And honestly, according to some of the teaching of Jesus, we don't need people to tell us how wonderful we are. Jesus says you'll know each other by your spirits. You'll know as you are known, is the way Jesus says it. And so, yeah, who are we without these things we think we need so badly? Can we even fathom a reality without always being connected to our needs? I know that's a difficult question, Richard. I wake up in the morning thinking, I'm hungry. I need to work out. I need to go outside. I want to smell the air. I need to keep my schedule. I need money. I need food. We wake up in that world of needs. But will there be a day, do we have an expression or an understanding of our innate selves without the things that we need all the time? That's good, Richard. Thanks.
All right, so for number 3, what does this mean to you? Abundance comes to those who already have it. Richard shared, abundance comes to those who know how to receive, that's good, and increase their abundance. You cannot reap without sowing, or you cannot get more abundance from what you do not have.
Yeah, that's really plain, isn't it, Richard? And so abundance comes to those who already have it. So that doesn't even necessarily mean an abundance of money. Abundant joy comes to those who already live in abundant joy. Isn't that amazing? Jesus said of the parable of the talents, those who took the talents, the money, and invested it and doubled their money, I'm going to give them more. I'm giving you more. I'm going to give you more things. And the person who had one talent but hid it in the ground and didn't use it, you didn't know how to invest it, Jesus said, I'm going to take that away from you and give it to somebody who already has it. So what if let's just say that the parable is not necessarily about money, which it is. It's coin or sum of money. Denarius is the Greek word there for talent. And so what about to those who only have a little bit of joy? And they're afraid to laugh, or they're afraid to open up, or afraid to give out joy. What little you have is going to be taken away. What about those who approach every situation with optimism and joy and inclusivity and charisma? And yeah, then you're probably going to increase that and continue to get more and more of that. Yeah, that is an interesting law of the universe that isn't really specifically connected to any individual. It's neutral, and those who know it use it, and those who don't sometimes suffer. Thanks, Richard.
All right, so then Richard followed this up by a comment. He shared, to paraphrase a quote I recently came across, if you continue to act as you have always acted, you will continue to get what you have always gotten.
Eureka. Eureka. There it is. Yeah.
If you want different results in your life, all you have to do is change.
That's it, Richard. What's the big deal? Just change.
He put in parentheses, cosmic enlightenment.
No big deal. Just if you want something different, just change everything that you're doing. Yeah, aren't we resistant to change? Yeah, we like for things to be the same. We like to hold on to our present states of consciousness, to our the old arguments that work for us, to the old pains. We like to hold on to our sense of entitlement at times. We like to hold on to our beliefs, our religion, our memories of friends from the past. And why aren't they calling me anymore? Guess what? People drift apart from each other all the time. But if you are a friendly person, as soon as you lose one friend, you'll meet a new friend. And guess what? When the new friend comes around, you will have attracted them by your new vibration. Whereas the old friend might not have come up with you on that level of vibration. Thanks, Richard. Really good.
All right, Miss Terry Salcedo shared or answered number 1. Who are you without constant connection to your needs? She said, I'm interpreting this question in regards to being needy, quote, needy at times, thinking my needs are not being met. But if that happens, I guess this is really awesome because she's demonstrating that awareness, right? If it happens, I'm aware of it. She says, I move into gratitude for all I have without and within. All is good.
That's great, Terry. Yeah, so when we move into gratitude, that is really contagious. Yeah, when we give thanks for what we already have, that opens up that vibration to attract more to it. Isn't that bizarre? So yeah, who are we without always needing something? I would add to that, Terry, that we are, like you just said, we are the awareness that I have needs, but I'm not my needs. Who am I without? I need a religion, but I don't need a religion. I'm just the awareness that my soul right now wants a religion. I need money. Well, what is money? It's a piece of paper. What really who we are without the attachment to needs is just awareness. You tapped into it beautifully, Terry. Yeah. And so just think about every day of our lives. We're always consumed with what we need instead of who we be. And it doesn't mean that in this material world that we're ever not going to need things. It's just a question to ask that put us in a little bit different stratosphere, that one day we might be in a space where we don't define ourselves by the things that we need all the time. Thanks, Terry.
Well, that's all I have for tonight's questions, but we have plenty of time, guys, so the questions are in your chat, so feel free. While we do that, I'll divert our attention a little bit. Miss Irma actually checked in on Facebook, and so she said, I realized I never checked in, so hi, Miss Irma. And it reminded me that last week, when we were going through the discussion, I ran out of time at the end and missed one of Irma's comments. I had made a note of it. So Irma,
look at that.
Irma, I'm going to go back.
Look at that, Miss Irma.
Because I think, Miss Irma, even though it's a week later, we can offer you perhaps a little encouragement here. So I'm rewinding a little bit. Our questions from last week were, when we react without thinking, where does that reaction come from? If we're upset by small things, are we tapping into our eternal immortal selves? What's the difference between the small you and the eternal you? When we see egos in others, what does this do to our ego? Why are beliefs obstacles to realizing our true self? So I say all that to preface towards the end of the discussion, and it was a really great discussion last week. Miss Irma wrote in, and Irma's going through a personal situation where I believe it was that she's lost her job. Correct me if I'm wrong, Miss Irma, but I think that was it. And she wrote in last week, I tried to stay out of this one tonight, but I have to say that I've let my current condition take over my mind. Everyone I know tells me this is not you, so why can't I eat? Why have I lost the person who I always knew I was? And she wrote, I'm afraid. She wrote that last week. And
really, Irma, you're not afraid. You're the awareness that you have the emotion of fear. Yeah, fear. You are experiencing the emotion of fear, but who you are is the awareness of the fear. And so in that awareness, you are the I am, and that anything that's attached after I am is really not an accurate description of who you are. I am afraid. No, I am having the emotion of fear. That's not who I am. I'm the awareness that fear is there. I am sad. No, I'm having an emotion of sadness. And so the good thing, Irma, is that we are aware of it. And as one job ends, when we keep a high vibration, something else usually tends to open up for us. And so, but to give you a little bit of encouragement, or to be empathetic, Irma, all of us feel that way. We teach ideas like don't take things that happen aren't always personal, but we do kind of take it personally. You know, I've gotten a lot better about that, especially in my line of work, my career, my ministry, my teaching and all that, is that when someone doesn't want to be at our church any longer, for a moment, I take it personally. Then I become the awareness and go, okay, that's okay. It's not part of their journey right now. And as I bless them going, I bless something else coming. Yeah, and I kind of have that self-talk with myself, whether that's a job, someone who comes to your church, friendships. The good thing, Irma, is that you're aware that that's not who you are. It's just what you're experiencing right now. And you will eat. You will get over this. You will come through it because you're around a lot of high vibrating people. It's contagious. We're going to get off on you. But yeah, Irma, you are such a precious soul. Something else is going to open up for you. You're not the thing that has happened to you. You are the observer of this thing that's happened. And you can become a vibrational match with new opportunities anytime that your soul is ready to do that. But don't feel guilty about taking this personally or taking it so heavy. It is hard not to respond in that way in this lifetime. But as long as we're aware of it, we know that it's not who we are. As Jesus says, let it pass to you and then through you quickly. What you must do more quickly. Thanks for sharing, Irma.
All right, awesome. Well, I think that's it for tonight. I mean, unless anyone, we have more time here at 7:14,
yep.
Family. But I thought I would just bring a little joy. Dr. Elijah wrote in random comment, but I love how neat your books are. And so I know Pastor LaDonna, is on tonight. And so I had to give her credit. So Dr. Elijah, we literally once every 6 months, I tell LaDonna, will you come over and I'll make you coffee and I'll feed you. Can you fix all my bookshelves? Because
make it look nice.
She's very talented at it. Because I don't have that gift and we did not do this. This is Pastor LaDonna's creation behind D.E. tonight.
Like man in white. The Wheel of Fortune.
And they're categorized as well. And D.E., you could probably do a whole teaching just on the way, all the different books you have. And they all have meaning and they're put together in a very meaningful way.
That section right there is all about the mystical Christ. That is John Shelby Spong. That is Richard Rohr. Lots of authors that This is my Barack Obama shelf right here. Although he's also up here. Vernon Jordan up there. This is some family stuff. World religions. It all has meaning. Books that have meant something to me over the years. But we appreciate you guys being a part of it tonight. Thanks for being a part of the discussion. And I don't think we're doing shouts out, but we are going to do our affirmation as we close. Let me remind you that this is Fifth Sunday, this Sunday. So we will only have virtual connection. And then we will also have virtual communion this Sunday. And so hopefully that's a part of it. Brenda actually just did this. So we're going to give some shouts out real quick. All right. Live stream Facebook and YouTube. Dr. Ray. What's up, Dr. Ray Madison? Pastor Fred and Mary. I of Ra or Miss LaSonia. Josephine Walker. Jason. I was reading about Jason today. You know, Jason is a biblical name. When Paul and Silas were in... what city were they in? Anyway, they were teaching and a band of people came out to beat him up and Jason hid him in his house. That's a biblical name. Reverend David Michael Searcy, Terry Salcedo, Ivy and Margie, Elaine, Ben and Vicky, Tamara, Maud, Sylvia Garrett, Bobby Moore, Pastor Glory and Howard, Rosaline, Myrna, Callie, Glenna, Lenora, Doreen, Tanya, Richard, Toria, Ethel Berry, Dr. Elijah Nicholas, Laverne Bryant, Terry Johnson, and Irma Crump.
Miss Pat Hutchinson.
And Miss Pat Hutchinson. Good to see you last week. I think maybe last Thursday or so. We love you guys. Thanks for being a part of our discussion tonight. We're going to end with our closing affirmation. Here we go. Tonight, I am willing to recognize dysfunction. If suffering is the normal state of humanity, I do not wish to be normal. If I've created God in my image, I will surrender to the truth that I am made in God's image. I am neither an external physical form nor any internal thought form. I am a spiritual being capable of experiencing physical form and the observing presence open to considering a diversity of thoughts. My present thoughts do not reflect my eternal capacity, my potential for awakening to self and spiritual transformation are endless, as am I, As are you, as are we.
Before we end, Jason was asking about your visit with Bishop Pearson. So for those folks who didn't get to join on Sunday, maybe you give this audience a little update on how that was.
It went really well. We did not want to overstay because he's very weary right now of what he's going through, and so we came in quietly and tried to leave several times, and he kept saying, "Why you leave? Don't leave. We want you to stay." And I said, "Well, we just don't. We want, if you want to sleep, we want to get out of your way." But he is in good spirits. We laughed, we cried, we hugged, we shared old stories together. We brought a lot of joy to him, and he did to us as well. We are believing for Bishop Pearson's highest and best good, and he seems completely at peace right now, and we're very, very thankful for that. But thank you for asking, Jason. Keep him and his family in your prayers and thoughts, and we are trusting that it's all working together for his good. Thanks for asking about that. That's it. All right. We love you guys. Have a great rest of your night. Go in peace.